Good morning, good morning, good morning. I know I'm 3 minutes late. I am. I apologize for that. But I had been doing some work this morning and I was talking to a few people. And before I knew it, I'm like, and I'm running around the house trying to make sure I had everything done. But anyway, good morning. How was your last couple of days? Your Wednesday, your Thursday. Today is Friday, and what you got planned for the weekend? Um, I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready to relax a little bit. Had a busy week. Looking forward to just resting a little bit and maybe listening to a little jazz. Um, just kind of chilling. And I've been on this thing of getting rid of and tossing out old papers and things. And I don't know if I told you, but I bought a really good shredder. Well, I had a shredder, but I bought a really good scanner. So from now on, every time I do one of these my vlogs, I will scan it in, put it in the cloud, and get rid of the paper, because the paper is just trying to drive me crazy, and I'm done with it. But I'm ready for what's next in my journey of adding to whatever else I can offer in regards to, are you stuck? And sometimes we get stuck with every single thing. But today's word is precious. And I woke up early this morning, and I was kind of troubled when I went to sleep, because I was thinking, well, what word can I use? And then I looked back through some of my records, and I looked and I said, wow, I started the word precious, but I've never finished it. And so it took me a minute longer than what I, thought it would, to put it together. But I love it, and sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what are we grateful for, thankful for, appreciative of? Do we acknowledge these things? And sometimes what we will come up with is that these things are precious. To me, life is precious, and in dealing with all that I've been through, regardless of what I or don't know, um, we all are going to go through things. And what you tell someone or you don't tell them, still it goes on. It's still ongoing. But sometimes we don't always acknowledge the fact that life itself is precious, and anything with that includes, friendships, love ship, kind ship, all of those ships that come to us are precious. And so that's our word today, precious. I've worked on it and I really think it's good. Um, One of the things I found was that I found this reading, but it doesn't have an author. So if you find it, find these words and type them in, and you find an author, wonderful. But I didn't find one. It just says it's a reading, and it says a life well lived. And sometimes we go through life, but we're so going through so much turmoil, we don't pay attention that the life itself is the preciousness of it. Regardless of how we get through it, we muddle through, we cry our way through, we laugh our way through, we hurt through, but yet and still we get through. And every day that we get, to me, for me, I'm going to speak for myself, is precious. So anyway, the reading says, a life well lived. It says, a life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter and better place. It's filled with moments sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared, and laughter through the years. A well lived life is a legacy of joy, pride, and pleasure, a loving, lasting memory of our grateful hearts. Well, will treasure. So to me, that kind of, captures what it is that I'm trying to say about precious. Precious is, those close friendships that you can never take for granted, because they come, they're rare, and you love them. You love those relationships. And so, and the relationships can be with your children, could be with a spouse, could be girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, but they're formed. They're formed. And once they are formed, you believe them as being just made for you. So when I start up the word of precious this morning, I'll ask you the question, are you stuck? Occasionally you're going to get stuck. I don't care who you are. You will get stuck. You'll get stuck on some of everything, your time, you know, um, your patience. You get stuck in your patience, like you don't have any patience for things. You'll get stuck on projects and, travel and, there's just so many things that when we get stuck, we don't realize that when we've gotten back what we've lost, or sometimes you can't get back what you've lost, but when you get in a position where you're comfortable enough to breathe again, then you realize that it's precious that you're back to where you were or where you came from. You're back from that dark place. Or maybe it was a happy place and you're back again. Good morning. Good morning. You are a precious girlfriend. You are my precious girlfriend too, Miss Gloria. Love you dearly. Love you dearly. I'll tell you. Sometimes I look for you, even though, I'm in the choir stand and you're all the way in the back. I'm just looking, scanning our congregation to see, do I see my friend Gloria? I think girlfriends are precious. If we have them, it to me, for me, it's godly. The fact that he didn't make us stay down here and just work alone. He gave us some people that will be here for us. Whether we're going through a good time or a bad time, or just a time. Meaning we may be having fun together, but then the sadness comes, but they're still there. No wavering, no disconnections. They're still there for you. So anyway, precious, it says precious may be of an object, a substance, or a resource. And my friendships, my love ships, my family ships, those are resources. At least they should be. Not everybody may have that. And it says of great value, not to be wasted or treated carelessly. And I don't do that to my friends. My friends are my friends. If you're sick, I'm there for you. If you're well, I'm there for you. Whatever it is, that's how it is. And the thing about it is, to me, I believe that we meet people in life, and some people are meant, they're going to stay there through your thick and thin, and others, they may disappear. That means they were seasonal. They came for the season. And then when they're gone, you're okay with their leaving because you're both at a place where it was okay. It's just okay. And sometimes you don't get an explanation when people leave, but they left for their reasons, and you have to figure it out, or don't, or just let it go. There is nothing else to do with it. It is what it is. So when we look at something that's precious, it says this is not to be wasted or treated carelessly. It says that means it has value. It's valuable to you. It's costly if it's gone. You feel the void. I have a couple of girlfriends that they were like my ride or die. Okay, gone, gone. And I feel, and as I said, since I've been purging and throwing out stuff, I've seen cards from them and letters, and it really gets me in touch with who they were and who they were to me and who I was to them. And to me, that's so important. So, I would say the costliness of losing somebody or moving away or whatever. But even with, all of the internet and the zooming and all those things, that FaceTiming that you can do, you still not, like, you're not, where you in a cave or something. You can still make touch with people if they're still on this earth. It says also with precious, it's things that are expensive. You know, I think friendships are expensive. I think family is expensive, meaning they're really priceless. They just are highly priced, meaning that I put them in my valuable category. They're dear to me. It says that they're invaluable. They cannot be replaced. And you find that in friendships that they can't be replaced. They may be priceless, rare, and just to the point where you realize how precious people are to you and you to them. So when we break the word down this morning, we break it down with my P is for priceless. I feel that, you know, my friendships, loveships, kindships, they're priceless. It's so precious that its value cannot be determined. I can hardly try to even explain it, of the feeling that I have for others who have become a part of my life, and through my journey and their journey, that we're there for each other. That's priceless. Can't beat it. Cannot. And it says priceless is says it's incalculable. It's estimable. It's costly, meaning if they're gone, it's costly to us. It says it's beyond price. Beyond price. It says it's irreplaceable. Those friends that are gone, my folks, my fam, my sisters, can't be replaced. Yes, I have others that are close like sisters and close like brothers, but they're not my brothers or not my sisters biologically, but I know the difference. It also says priceless means dear, treasured, and cherished. And that's what we do when we have people that we really and truthfully care about. Sometimes people think things that are precious may only be possessions. Sometimes they may be, but I don't put their value over any friend or any family member that I've ever had. I just haven't, and I know that some people do. They value material things more so than they do people. And, I think life is just too precious for me to make it where I'm looking at, a diamond that can do nothing and a diamond that can do everything, like speak and hug and tell you how they feel and make you laugh. And so to me, the difference is just can't be compared. Cannot can be compared to me. When I move on in my word, priceless. Let me also say that priceless also says that it is what it is. You know that it's yours as long as you're here. It's priceless. You're not going to change it. You're not going to change it. My R says that things are rare. Rare. And it could be an event, a situation, a condition. And you know what you've been through with people and what you've been through with yourself going through things. When somebody comes and they're there for you or you're there for someone else, it's rare, but it's memorable. It is memorable. You remember those things. And it says it could be where it's not occurring very often. And sometimes when we're going through stuff, it's not an often occurrence, but yet and still it happens. So it is rare. And it says it's infrequent, few and far between. Okay. And sometimes when you think about your relationships of any kind, that they're few and far between, because you don't make that close relationship with everyone that you meet. Sometimes you just meet people, but they're not to be in what I would call your inner circle, or inner circle. They're just there. But it says they're also scarce, that relationships like that are scarce, sparse, golden. I always remember my mother and her friend. My mother's name was Lily. Her friend name was Katie Bell. And Katie Bell lived in Texas. And all she would always talk about, she said, my Lily, which my mother's name was Lily, my Lily. And she said, my Lily was a lily. Okay. Always will remember her, always love her. Even though we, grew up, got married, we never forgot each other. We were a rare find. So you understand that kind of connection through the heart and the head, it doesn't depart, even though we grow older, and I think when they got to see each other again, it had been like maybe 60, 62 years since they had seen each other, but they still were like, just so happy to see each other and ready to have some fun before, Miss Bell returned back to Texas. So the goldenness of friendship is important. And it also says that when something is precious, it's like gold dust. It just falls down on it. It stays right there. You feel it. You feel it. You know it's there. And it says rare is an occasional thing. It's limited. It's odd, and it's isolated. Meaning not everybody that comes towards you will ever be that rare find in a person. They won't. They won't. My E of precious says things with other people sometimes are exquisite, meaning you see the beauty in them. It says extremely beautiful and typically delicate. And most of my friendships I treat like that. I don't share them with, you know, I don't share information that they've given me with others. I really look at them as being almost like a fine jewel to me, exquisite, just there, beautiful, elegant, grateful. It says magnificent in who they've become, even if they have flaws, because I believe we all have flaws nonetheless. You know, it's exquisite that they were presented to me as this person that would be there for me and me for them. So that made the relationship an exquisite one. It says it's also an excellent relationship, wonderful. And once again, the fact that it is delicate means you don't get that from everybody, and you don't give it to everyone. So therefore it's delicate, it's special. My um my C of precious says that it's costly. And costly, it says that if you lose it, this is this preciousness, you realize that it would cause you suffering, loss, and put you at a disadvantage. And I think anybody that has ever dealt with loss of a friend, family member, you know, the closeness that you had, you realize when you can't pick up the phone and go call them anymore. You realize when you can't text them, when you can't see them on a screen, or visit them in person, or they you realize, wow, that's something. That is something else. So anyway, it says that having that costliness would make it catastrophic if they were to disappear. It says it would be a ruinous thing that takes place in your life. It would be a definite deviation from what you know they are and have been to you. Deviation. And it would be a crushing blow. I mean, let's face it. Any of us that have ever lost people, we know what a crushing blow it is and how we have to regroup. And sometimes it takes us a long time to regroup, and we will never regroup in that area because that will always be a tender spot for us. Even I mean, I was just realizing that this year my mother has been dead 20 years. And in writing, looking at been trying to think about writing, get back to writing on her book. One of the things I do remember that I put in the book is that when your mother is gone, okay, and your father, especially if you had a good relationship with them, it feels that all of a sudden you've ascended to, being topless. you know you're higher up in terms of maybe, the hierarchy in your family or whatever, if you're that up that high. Like for those who are probably, baby boomers, or even those who are probably coming up right behind the baby boomers, are starting to see that, there's a generation that is leaving, and it's leaving those, underneath them uncovered. And so, that connection of parent child is no longer there. And I just still remember that, I can remember my dad calling me, and and sometimes if I'm tuned right, I can still hear his voice. I can still hear his voice. And my dad, I was really young when my dad passed away. So, I look at these things as just being precious moments of still having a memory of them, but knowing that the loss was a really catastrophic in some instances when it was going on. Now it is just at a simmer of remembrance, along with the love and what it is that made it precious. I just sometimes will get things that just says, man, my mom, my dad, wow, wow. So anyway, when we move on in our word of preciousness, we talk about my eye being invaluable. It says the original and current meaning of invaluable is value beyond estimation, meaning we can't even put a price on it because it is invaluable, not to be sold, not to be bought, just to be had. That's what invaluable really speaks to. The word describes something of precious. Once again, there's that word, so precious that you cannot assign a price to it. That's how I feel about many of my friends that I've been given in life, and my parents, my siblings. It's priceless. I can't put a number on it. And sometimes when we're in our various Sunday school lessons, and I'm listening to what and how the Bible depicts you know generational things, and it says how the parent begot all the way down, and I always wondered what happens when the chain you know, comes up funny, or the link doesn't go right, meaning the parents go before the child. And I've had a couple of experiences as a counselor where the child left before the parent, and it was devastating. It was devastating to them that they could, because the order was different. The order was different than we assume, what we assume. And so even for myself, thank goodness I've never lost a child, but I lost a parent. I lost both of my parents, and realizing that they can never be replaced. You can never replace. So that made it an invaluable um, situation for me. I knew the fact of not seeing them again was, pretty catastrophic to me. So it says that invaluable means to be that it's priceless, it's incalculable, it's precious, it's costly, and it's expensive. So you realize these things cannot be bought. They were had. They were had, and they were beautiful. And sometimes by the time we wake up and realize the beauty of family, friends, um, and sometimes even foe, um, they're it's over. They're gone when we realize. And so that's why I always tell my friends I love them. I always tell my daughter I love her. To me, those things become important, just extremely important. Just in case, I don't see you again, I'm saying it, that I love you. Um, when we go on further on in our word of precious, we talk about costly, and then we have invaluable, then we have occasional. When I say occasional, meaning that when we get these strong bonds, the family, the friends, and sometimes even the foe, it says it occurring, appearing, or done infrequently and irregularly, meaning that we're not going to have everybody that we see will not be a close friend. They may be a friend, and then you have to value what that means to you, but they may not be your ride or die into everything that you're into. They may not be. Still may be a friend. Still may be a friend. But I look at that. So it says it's occasional, it's infrequent, It says it's irregular, intermittent, meaning that you may find a friend that you started in elementary school with and you're still with, like Lily and Katie Bell, my mother and her friend, 62 years later. Or you may find friends that you've met only last year. Nonetheless, you were given an opportunity to form a bond, a relationship. But and it says that these things are rare, that you would even become that close with people. So it says that there's an oddity to it, and I really feel that. I feel that I have some friends that, man, thick and thin, I'm there for them. I'm there. My you says that it is uncommon for us to think that we would not, we would be in every aspect of our lives of having things be precious. No, the preciousness is that there's not a lot of it. And so it says uncommon, out of the ordinary, unusual, atypical, rare, singular, because sometimes things come to you singularly, and scarce. And when I look at my friendships, so I have a lot of friends, but I don't have a lot of close friends. And to me, that's the ones that may know when I'm hurting, may know when I'm sick, may know when I'm down, may know when I just need a little love. And they know that about me. And so that makes them be on my inner precious circle of friends list, because they understand that I am who I am. I am whom I am. Um, and so when something, becomes uncommon, that would be my you, they're out of the ordinary. I didn't set out, like, I don't know if you ever seen the little Hummel, where he sets out on a journey in his life, and he has the stick with all of his belongings are in that little tied up handkerchief on the top of that stick that he's carrying. He's in a deep walk, making his way, and I'm thinking when he's making his way through life, he's going to his next journey, but all he has with him is just that little bit of those little bit of things that are in that hanky. That's us. When we come here, we don't come here with much. When we leave, we're still going to leave with not much. Okay, everything that becomes like, things that we've earned in life or worked hard for, it is what it is. But when we leave here, they will not go with us. And so we must look at our lives as being, you know, only common to a point. The uncommonness is that we are rare in who we will become close to, who we become extremely kind to, who we will love, who we will cherish, who we will acknowledge. That's just life. That's life. And we will go through those things, um, that we go through with a small number of people. And when you think about it, and you don't want everybody knowing every hurt, every battle cry, every, you know, hooray. You don't. Some things are left for you and a few, not left for everybody to know. Okay. And my S, as I go through my end, my S is for, and precious is, sincerity. I believe there's nothing else that's more important in relationships, friendships, kindships, than sincerity. And sincerity is the quality of being free, the quality of being free from pretense, deceit, or hypocrisy. You know, let's just face it. We shouldn't be phony friends. We should be good friends. We should be kind friends. We should be there for each other, looking out for each other. Making it where we're happy to see each other, If somebody's going through something, we're there for them. They're there for us. That makes a good friendship, and it makes it where it deepens the preciousness of what it is that you have with others. So it says, without pretense, free from pretense, deceit, or hypocrisy. So meaning there's honesty in it. There's honesty in relationships. Genuineness. How genuine and kind are we to others? Do we look at the fact that it's important that others know who we are, how we are, and that we're there for them? For me, yes, yes. It talks about being trustworthiness, having trustworthiness, meaning you can tell them something and it won't be on the, 6 o'clock news, 11 o'clock news, you know, and national news, front stage, front page. No, it is what it is. And the preciousness is that it's known by you and they know what it is that you may need. Even if they can't provide it, the fact that they know about it gives it credence. It says also with sincerity, you have earnestness, meaning, you know, I'm there for you, whatever you need. Candor, because sometimes you have to you have to tell folks, that are your friends and they understand you, where they are and how they need to, look at what it is that you're saying to them that means them no harm. The sincerity is there, but yet and still they still need to be back down from the roof, or might be that they're doing something else that you feel may jeopardize how they go forward. Sometimes the candor is important. And then the last thing it says is our openness in friendships, love ships, family ships. Sometimes families have the worst way of dealing with each other because they've never brought in the aspect of let's talk, let's be honest, let's be informative, um, let's not try to figure out who's over everything. Let's all have a collective discussion time, and let's make it where we are a family of one, and that we're looking out for each other. And I'm, coming up, I always remember that, my mother and father, certainly they outstood anything that and was the final say on anything that we might disagree on. But we talked about it as a family. We talked about who it affected, how it was dealing with them, what needed to be done, who should take blame, lead, or bow out totally. My folks were orchestrators of that, of how we, and so I think I've always grown up when I knew that the dog was bigger than me, I'm going back down. I don't I don't have any fight in it because the dog's bigger than me. But if it's something that I can certainly assist with, then I'm gonna just let you know I'm there for you if you need me. If you need me, because sometimes we need boundaries. We need boundaries as friends. And the preciousness is that they know that they can come. They know they can come to you, and they hear you, they see you, they acknowledge you. That's good. That's always a good thing. But listen, y'all, I've had a good day, even though not many people were. It's a Friday, so I take no bad intentions from people not coming in today like they usually do. I'm just gonna say, look, I'm gonna be here regardless if no one's on or not. And if you don't do anything else, if you see this video later, this opportunity, take it. Listen to what I had to say, and certainly send it to others that they can also know that Dr. Winnie's here with a message. Today's was on being what's precious in life. And they can do anything they want with it, but I certainly hope and they'll pass it on to their friends and family as well. And I'm going to see you on Monday again with another word. And I hope you have a great weekend. Go out this weekend and do something that you would consider being precious towards someone that you love, even or you deeply like and you care about. Do something special for them, okay? I'll see you on Monday. I appreciate everyone that comes in. I appreciate everyone that certainly shares my videos. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.